Tonight, an adjournment in the assault case levelled against Wailer Mayor Lynn Brewer. So what's next? And local communities learning to fight the rise in domestic violence cases across the region.
This is Southern Cross News with Fraser Goldsworthy.
Good evening. Wailer Mayor Lynn Brewer has had her assault case postponed yet again, with the matter adjourned until May. But the next hearing could be the last, with the prosecution potentially looking at withdrawing the charges. John Hunt joins us with more. John, is there an ending in sight?
Potentially, Fraser, this case strikes at the heart of Wailer's political scene, with some of its biggest players involved. But as you say, it could be all over soon, with the defence pushing for the charges to be dropped. Mayor Brewer was charged with allegedly assaulting Angela Antonio, the wife of Councillor Tom Antonio. The incident occurred on Remembrance Day in November last year, during a photo opportunity with soldiers. Ms. Brewer wasn't in court this morning again as her lawyer Matthew Rismondo appeared on her behalf. He asked for a 4-week adjournment as the prosecution and defence continue negotiations. Furthermore, it was revealed the charges could be thrown out at the next hearing, with the defence indicating its interest in this path. It was also confirmed that the case was being reviewed in Adelaide, ahead of a decision on whether to proceed. Mayor Brewer's lawyer declined to comment, but she released a statement this afternoon, saying she is hopeful the case will be dropped, and she'll continue in her role as mayor until further notice. She also said she won't comment on the matter until it's been resolved. Now, Fraser, the case will return to court on May 22, where prosecutors will decide whether to proceed or to end it. In the meantime, negotiations between the two parties continue behind closed doors.
Thank you, John. John Hunt reporting there. The Port Augusta power station site has today said goodbye to the coal bunkers directly behind the iconic Northern Stack. The 47-metre structure was brought to the ground using charge-cutting explosives, sending smoke throughout the surrounding area. Clean-up will be completed over the coming months before the 200-metre stack is demolished later this year. The federal government has given major project status to a mining venture near Broken Hill. The $1.7 billion project could create 1,500 jobs for the region.
In the shadow of the city's miner memorial, an announcement that has Broken Hill's mining future looking bright. Carpentaria Resources has received plenty of interest in its Horsens project for many years, thanks to its super-grade, high-quality iron ore deposit.
What that means for us is streamlined approvals, saving us time and money. What it also does is give the vote of confidence from the government, gives our international investors and our offtake partners significant confidence moving forward.
The project, 60 kilometres southwest of the city, now has the best chance of success, with federal and state governments stepping in to lend a hand over the next 3 years.
Broken Hill's such a wonderful history of mining, and to think that that's, we still have a future in mining, and we're not just looking back to the past all the time to the glory days, I think is a wonderful thing.
Plenty of jobs are expected to follow.
We estimate around 1,200 jobs during construction for the mine and around 500 jobs during steady state production.
As the world is more and more focused on clean air and reducing emissions, the product that they produce is actually top class. It's right at the top level of quality for steel making.
The mine has a life expectancy of 2 decades, with Carpentaria now looking to fund the project with its global partners.
They have $130 billion of annual revenue, our offtake partners. That's $130 billion of annual revenue. They want to see this project in production.
Patrick Reinke, Southern Cross News.
Investigations are continuing into a fire which has damaged a critical part of the Wailer steelworks. Management has confirmed it's looking into a cause, but it'll be business as usual at the facility in the meantime. John Hunt reports.
Fire crews were called to the plant more than 24 hours ago, where a major blaze had broken out, which has caused significant damage to a major piece of infrastructure at the Wailer steelworks. The alarm was raised just after 1 p.m, with Metropolitan Fire Service crews racing to the iron-making section near the blast furnace. When they arrived, fireys discovered a conveyor belt on fire and began immediate action to bring it under control. It's understood the conveyor in question delivers material from the coke ovens building to the blast furnace section. Coke is used as a fuel in the iron-making process, quenched in the ovens to become a carbon product. Smoke from the blaze could be seen drifting over Whyalla and out into the Spencer Gulf due to a strong northerly wind. In a statement, GFG confirmed it's begun an investigation into the circumstances of the fire and how it occurred. It's also confirmed that all workers were evacuated safely and no one was injured during the incident. A damage bill has yet to be established. However, GFG are confident there'll be no major impact on production. Work will get underway to repair the damaged area and bring it back online soon.
There's been an alarming rise in police responses to domestic violence cases across the Eyre Peninsula. It comes as a regional tour of workshops gets underway to equip community members with the skills to recognise the early signs of the crime.
It's an horrific statistic that's sadly on the rise. It's been revealed that local police are responding to more domestic violence call-outs than ever before, a 40% increase since 2014. In a bid to turn this around, the Rise Above the Pack workshops are touring regional communities on stamping it out.
We've been funded to come out to regional South Australia because there is an increase of violence in community, and we hope that our workshops can reduce that.
We want to see communities be equipped to be able to reduce violence in their own communities by rallying together really and assisting speak up against violence in communities and also sexist attitudes and gender inequality.
That's what I'm here to learn today actually, to gain some strategies and to better manage that sort of attitude. But I certainly hope that I would be able to assist wherever I could.
With 1 in 3 women to experience domestic violence at some stage, the idea behind the 3-hour programs is to provide the skills on how to be an active bystander.
It's giving a toolkit to participants to say, hey, when I see something in the street, I know what to do. We give indirect strategies, so maybe go console that person afterwards and say, hey, are you okay? And maybe direct by, run up and go, oh, excuse me, I just wondering what the time is. I'm a bit lost, where's the marina? Whatever it may be, to just distract.
Casey Trelaw, Southern Cross News.
Still to come tonight, internationally renowned jazz musician James Morrison pays the region a visit. That story next. Claire McLaughlin has won the race to take over from Jenny Barnes as Wailers Deputy Mayor. Council met last night to select a replacement for Ms Barnes, who quit earlier this month. Ms McLaughlin was the only candidate to nominate and she was elected unopposed. The business owner has served on council since 2014. She'll serve in the role until November's general election. Young basketballers in Port Augusta have been treated to a special coaching clinic with Adelaide 36ers legend Marc Davis. The program aims to get role models out to the country in a bid to inspire kids in remote communities.
He may not have the same physical ability he had 20 years ago, but 57-year-old Marc Davis still has plenty to offer.
Well, we're going over fundamentals, obviously. Obviously to become any better than as best as you want to become, fundamentally you have to become very, very sound.
Not much has changed for Davis though. At just over 2 metres tall, and with years of NBL experience behind his belt, the kid certainly had plenty to look up to.
He's really tall, you have to look up to see him.
I just noticed them always, they always just sort of, staring at them. And I think because he always puts them immediately at ease, like he jokes with them.
After a career with the 36ers that spanned 16 seasons, Marc now lives in Adelaide, where he works to develop the careers of budding basketballers.
Over the last 12 years, we've been running our own camps, which is the Marc Davis camp that we hold down at Emmanuel College every year. We get over 300 kids that come around.
Appearing as part of the Stride program, the man known as the chairman of the boards for his rebounding ability wants to instill more in the kids than the basics of the game.
Discipline, teamwork, playing everything within the spirit of the game.
And sports was just such a great leveller to get everybody, working together.
And it seems Port Augusta might even have a few NBL stars in their stocks.
They got some talented young kids, and they're doing a good job with the basketball program down here.
Garth Burley, Southern Cross News.
Regional Development Far West has launched a new website showcasing the region and what it has to offer. LoveTheFarWest.com gives visitors a chance to explore Broken Hill's history, its retail opportunities and much more.
It's a simple message: love where you live.
It's quite a lengthy website with a lot of detail on there, which we're excited about.
The new website puts a spotlight on Broken Hill and surrounding towns, offering vital information to tourists about attractions and hotspots, locals to new eateries, and everyone to a better experience in the region.
We're looking to, allow people who live in the Far West, who live outside of the Far West or admirers of the Far West region, to jump on there and see all different information about those aspects.
RDA Far West says the website is part of a campaign to showcase the region.
Our campaign basically aims to encourage people throughout the Far West to be proud of our region. We're working with local businesses to develop their workforce, which in turn generates career pathways, opportunities for people throughout the region.
The website is connected to a number of programs, including the Far West Gift Card Initiative and the Regional Food Guide.
We recognise that there's a need for innovative strategies to be implemented in our region so that we can progress and grow moving forward.
And there's plans to further develop the website, with a Sporting Hall of Fame page just one idea.
We are communicating the success of our local athletes, our champions throughout the region, so we'll look to significantly diversify that platform moving forward.
Patrick Ryanke, Southern Cross News.
The headline act for this year's Salt Festival in Port Lincoln has drawn hundreds of guests to town. With little more than 12 hours to spend in the region on the tail end of his world tour, Australian multi-instrumentalist James Morrison wasted no time in hitting plenty of his famous high notes.
Musical royalty blows away crowds at the Salt Festival.
We've just been right around the world through Europe and the States, and what a way to finish up at the Salt Festival.
James wasn't the only Morrison on stage. His quartet also featuring his 20 and 22-year-old sons.
This quartet, they're all young blokes. Two of them are my sons, Will and Harry. I needed a good rhythm section, so I bred one, We have a great connection and we love the same kind of music and love to play the same way, so it's just a natural fit.
With a plan to one day move to Adelaide to play jazz music, one local musician was in awe of the quartet's skills.
It's awesome just to see him go crazy, and all them altissimo notes he hits on the trumpet's pretty full on. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. We're pretty spoilt to get such a talented quartet in, so I'm loving it.
To have the music of this calibre, world-class jazz musicians, and to be able to watch it in our local theatre is just, something to be really proud of as a local creative community.
And as to who can top the performance next year,
we always keep things pretty secret. Anything's possible, so who knows what's going to happen in 2019.
Casey Trelaw, Southern Cross News.
After the break, a pair of international comedians perform in a Port Pirie garage. More on that next. Well, two comedians from Toronto have made the epic journey across the world to Port Pirie last night, putting on a stand-up gig in a backyard garage. Locals were left thrilled to have a taste of international comedy literally in their backyard.
It's not your usual comedy backdrop, a garage in Port Pirie.
I love imagining someone trying to figure out what they're walking into. Because with this, they'd be like, is it just like a weird TED Talk about how to organize your garage? Not like this.
Two Canadians coming overseas, coming to Australia to perform, and they were just going to be going to Port Lincoln anyway for the Salt Festival, and I said, I'll drive you, how about you come to my hometown of Port Pirie, we'll put on a show, and they went, yeah, okay.
I have this garage, I know, you should come and I'll put a microphone in it and you can speak into the microphone and then people will hear you, and then they did, and so we agreed to that.
Small town shows in someone's garage are awesome. That's one of the best parts of being on tour, is weird little shows like that.
The pair centred their monologues on veganism, Australia and the country lifestyle.
Make people feel warm and very comfortable and have fun, and then I violate that space completely so that they are initially having fun and then they're taken into a weird place.
It was really good fun. It was great to have some international acts come to Port Pirie.
Yeah, it was amazing, just great atmosphere, so many laughs. Definitely come back next year and watch it again if they come around.
If you're keen to have a laugh yourself, the pair will be performing at Port Lincoln Salt Festival this week. Rachel Nell, Southern Cross News.
Change of pace now to local sport. Many of the region's summer sports are coming to an end. Garth Burley is across it in Port Augusta, and Garth baseballers are celebrating premiership wins.
Well, Fraser, the baseball season's now wrapped up in Port Pirie, and the Tigers Club will have plenty to celebrate, with resounding wins in both grades. The Tigers batters were seeing the ball like beach balls, creaming the ball over the fence repeatedly, and unfortunately for the Cats, they weren't able to make up the huge deficit. In the minors, the Tigers thumped Cats White by 14 points, and in the majors, a sparkling display from the MVP, Chris Nankivell, helped the Tigers beat the Cats. Turning our attention to the round ball game now, where in Whyalla, Steel United put on a clinical display against Westlands, scoring 8 goals, while a hard-fought match between Lions and Croatia saw the Lions come away with a close 1-0 victory. In Pirie, Savoy was looking to build on a 4-2 win from last weekend, but went down to Roe Park 3-1 in front of a home crowd. This year's netball season is ramping up, with Port Lincoln and Port Augusta players stepping out on the court for the first time this year, while Whyalla and Broken Hill reconvene after a school holiday break. The rounds feature a number of high-profile clashes. In Port Lincoln, the annual Anzac match will feature reigning premiers Wanilla against Waybacks. Waybacks will be looking to capitalise against a new-look Wanilla side. In Whyalla, the Warriors will be trying to repeat the heroics of last year when they come up against True Blue for the first time since last year's grand final. Under lights, the much-anticipated Port Augusta Grand Final rematch between Whale Rays and Vikings is sure to draw a big crowd. Vikings will be looking to bounce back and exact revenge after last year's defeat. St Joe's Jesters and reigning premiers the Nab Stars is the game of the round in Broken Hill, with both teams sitting on 4 wins and looking to advance their position on the ladder. So a few sports keen to recommence proceedings this weekend after a break, a holiday for some and a big pre-season for others. So I'm sure with this coming weekend, there'll be plenty of sport for people to sink their teeth into. Back to you, Fraser.
Thanks, Garth. Stay with us. After the break, we'll have all the local weather details with Amy Stevenson. And we have a midweek public holiday coming up, so what's in store for the golf, Amy?
While it is shaping up to be a mostly fine Anzac Day, some areas will see chance of showers, Fraser, and I'll have all the details next. Most centres experienced a cooler day today with temperatures dropping. 27 the top in Port Augusta, Whyalla and Port Lincoln sat in the low 20s, while despite the clouds, Broken Hill still managed to reach a warmer 31. Looking at the satellite now, and the west may see some showers and thunderstorms due to a trough over SA. However, skies are clear over the northeast under that high pressure system. If you have plans to spend Anzac Day on the waters tomorrow, southerly winds will be shifting southwesterly before picking up to 15 knots, with seas reaching 1 metre. The sun will rise at 6:48, while sunset is at 5:46. And before we get to tomorrow's forecast, many thanks to Floyd, who managed to capture this stunning sunset at Farm's front gate. And remember, if you have a weather snap, we would love to see it, and you can email it to us at localnews@sca.com.au. And now for the Anzac Day conditions around the Spencer Gulf. The chance of showers in Port Augusta, Whyalla and Port Pirie, with temperatures sitting to the mid to high 20s. Cooler in Coffin Bay with a top of 20. Meanwhile, the Bureau is predicting mostly sunny conditions in all other districts. Looking towards the weekend, and mostly sunny conditions in Port Lincoln and Cleve, with maximums in the low 20s. Woodnut will be a few degrees warmer with a top of 25 on Friday. Possible showers in Whyalla over the coming days that will clear by the weekend, reaching 23 on Saturday. Temperatures in the mid-20s predicted in Port Augusta over the weekend, while fine and sunny conditions forecasted for Kadina. Maximums in Port Pirie will sit in the mid-20s over the next few days, while Clare is expected to be a little cooler. However, it will be a sunny 21 on Saturday. And after a run of warm days, Broken Hill will feel those autumn temperatures return, reaching 22 over the weekend. So the chance of light showers in some parts, however, it is shaping up to be a mostly sunny weekend around the Spencer Gulf, Fraser.
Great chance to spend some time in the sun. Thanks, Amy. And that's the news to now. Thanks for your company. Be sure to join us tomorrow night for a special Anzac Day edition of Southern Cross News. Enjoy your evening. Good night.